Ladies and gentlemen, still please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Apologize. Y'all may be seated. This meeting is called to order. Today is January the 11th, 2024. County meeting is 7:04 p.m. All, me, Gary Eagle, President. Firstly, first item of business is the 2024 reorganization of the board. Will everyone consent? We need a chairperson, chairman, or chairperson to run the election. Do you all consent to having our school board attorney, Mark Berger, do it?
I consent.
Everyone consent?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Mr. Berger?
Yes, thank you. So pursuant to the bylaws, you're required to have your annual or reorganizational meeting by January 15th. Once the meeting is called to order by the president, you will be responsible for taking forth the election of a president to move forward, the vice president, as well as the secretary, along with appointing a treasurer to serve as the treasurer for the corporation. At this time, we would open up the floor for nominations to the position of president.
I'd like to nominate Eric Stroud.
We have a nomination for Eric Stroud. Is there anyone else? If there's no more nominations, I would ask the court or the board for consent to close the nominations.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So at this time, we will take a vote for the position of president. Oh, sorry. And at this time, we will do this just by a voice vote. We will not do roll call, just a voice vote. So all that would be in favor of Eric Stroud as the president?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Vote carries 5-0. This time, the meeting will be turned over to Eric Stroud to proceed with the election of the vice president and the secretary.
Mr. Berger, make sure I do this the right way.
Vice president.
All right, do we have any nominations for our vice president?
I nominate Chrissy Gunter.
Are there any other nominations?
I nominate Gary Eagle.
I'll nominate Josh Bowen.
Are there any other nominations? Consent to close the nominations for vice president.
Aye. Aye.
Yeah, I thought we had to make a motion.
We do consent, it's just
Consent to?
Consent.
Aye.
All right. First nomination, Chrissy Gunter.
Aye.
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 Against?
Against.
Second nomination, Carrie Engel.
No. Aye.
No.
No.
Third nomination, Josh Bowen.
Aye.
Aye.
No.
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 You have one with the majority, so that would be like Chrissy Gunner.
Chrissy Gunner will serve as the vice president for the 2024 year. Nominations for secretary.
I nominate Carrie Engel.
Josh Bowen.
Any other nominations? I'd like to consent to close the nominations for secretary.
I consent.
I consent. I consent.
All right. Votes for secretary, Carrie Engel.
Aye.
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 No.
Against?
No.
No.
Josh Bowen.
Aye.
Aye.
No.
No.
No. Carrie Engel is your secretary for the 2024 school board.
Oh, is motion
You got the answer? You got nothing. We're not doing still.
Okay, congratulations. It is recommended that the board approve meeting dates and times for regular monthly meetings, designation of the Board Democrat for publications and notices, recognition and appointment of a Board of Finance. Policy 0501.1 sets president and secretary to serve in those same roles on the Board of Finance.
May I have a motion to approve this agenda item?
I'm gonna make the motion, be the first motion I make the year.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Are there any questions or concerns? All in favor, say aye.
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 Against? Motion carries 5-0.
It is recommended that the board appoint the following positions for 2024. Corporation Treasurer, Mrs. Joanne Burson. Assistant Treasurer, Mrs. Judy Jeffries. Extracurricular Treasurer, Mrs. Kate Harden.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against? Motion carries 5-0.
It is recommended that the board approve board member compensation by resolution Indiana Code 20-26-4-7.
Do I have a motion for this item?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions or comments?
Mr. President, this does not mean that nothing's changing, right? Rates or anything like that, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
And just so people are aware, per our policy, school board members shall receive each year a basic compensation of $2,000 a year.
Are there any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 Against? Motion carries 5-0.
Indiana Code requires that a public servant who has an interest in a contract or purchase that possibly may increase those public servants' net worth must fully disclose that possible conflict of interest. This disclosure must be filed once each year with the State Board of Accounts. No official board action is required, but public acknowledgement must be met for the following. Mr. Eric Stroud, Stroud's Landscape and Lawn Care Services have been purchased by North Harrison Community School Corporation. Mr. Stroud is the owner of Stroud's Landscape and Lawn Care. Mr. Chris Lasley. Mr. Lasley is a contract bus driver for North Harrison Community School Corporation.
Agenda and minutes recommendations. Adoption of the agenda. It is recommended that the agenda for the January 11th, 2024 regular meeting be approved as presented with additions, corrections, or deletions as recommended by the board. Do I have a motion?
Do I ask for changes after we make the motion?
You want to go ahead and what are you wanting to ask?
Okay, well, first of all, I'd like to add that we need to appoint a legislative, ISBA legislative representative. If we could put that on the late item. And also, under appointments on number 4, if we could vote for that separately due to personal interests.
Yes, we can do that.
Also, Mr. President, on other items under other items, 1-12-12, number 2. I think we were going to table that item, or do we wait till we get to that point? We'll just table it, if that's okay. Okay. We'll address it when we get to it.
I'll make the motion on the agenda.
Actually, I need to add the rest of the late items. I'm sorry. I've got late items to add. I'm sorry. I think these are on your packets when you came in, but we do have some late items. Madeline Ferris, appointment, middle school instructional assistant, effective January 16, 2024. Shirley Rising, resignation, Morgan, night shift custodian, effective January 12, 2024. Marcus Berger, appointment, high school volunteer baseball coach, 2024 season. Bill Hoyer, appointment, high school volunteer baseball coach, 2024 season. Brad Tucker, appointment, high school volunteer baseball coach, 2024 season. Bud Dykus, appointment, high school JV baseball coach, 2024 season. Will Davis, appointment, high school assistant varsity baseball coach, split pay, 2024 season. Lincoln Jones, appointment, high school assistant varsity baseball coach, split pay, 2024 season.
All right. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Are there any other questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Against? Motion carries 5-0. Approval of minutes. It is recommended that the minutes from the December 14th, 2023 executive session and regular meeting be approved as presented. May I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Are there any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 Against? Motion carries 5-0.
Approval of claims. It is recommended that claim numbers 40536 and 40683 be approved as presented.
Do I have a motion to approval of claims?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
questions or concerns? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries 5-0.
Approval of payrolls. It is recommended that regular payrolls for January 19, 2024 and February 2nd, 2024 be approved for payment.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Are there any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
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 Against? Motion carries 5-0.
It is recommended that the bank reconciliation from December 31st, 2023 be approved as presented.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Are there any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
We do not have any presentations tonight, Mr. President.
Right. Participation at school board meetings. Three minutes.
Yes.
Count that in.
Set on.
It's been a long time since I've been here, so I thought I'd take a chance just to come up here and spend 3 minutes. I just have 2 questions. Number on other items, number 1, could you explain what Trust Indiana is?
I can answer that, Mr. Hassel. I'm going to talk about that here in just a few minutes.
Well, okay.
If you want me to go ahead and
No,
do it
if
now,
you're
I
going to
can.
talk about it, I just didn't hear of it and wanted it to check.
Sure.
And the other thing, and I sounds like we're going to table it, but number 2, where would the location of that maintenance building be? By the bus complex?
Yeah, maintenance shed. We're looking at the location next to the bus compound.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Thank you. Mr. Myrick?
My first time here tonight, so, anyways, I got a question. Assistant softball coach, going in my second year, working with Mark Lundman.
State your name for the record.
I'm sorry, Billy Murray. Got 2 daughters who go here, both of them play varsity softball this year. And Mark's his 3rd year coaching, my 2nd year. We'd like to know what we got to do to try to get a hitting facility, indoor facility for the girls softball team. We've got a guy that is offered to pay for labor and some of the materials, shell, the building itself. Let's talk to Mark about it. Mark's talked to, I think we talked to Mr. Andy last year a little bit. We talked to Hal. Just kind of follow up dead ends. So I'm here tonight wanting to know what do we need to do? What's the correct process? We've got, I don't know, exact number, 10, 14,000. That's fundraisers, and saving up. We'd rather spend it on girls, some nice uniforms, equipment. We envision something similar to the baseball facility, right there where the batting cage is next to the softball field. I think we can do it fairly inexpensive. I'm not asking for nothing glamorous, nothing, just somewhere indoor that they can go. Currently, right now, there's 35 middle school girls signed up as of today. They're over in the facility practicing right now, getting ready. So I think we got potential of doing something with softball here if we can get some help, some support.
Billy, where did you say you wanted to, what location you want to put it in?
We envisioned it right there, where the batting cage is, right next to the home dugout, down third base line on the softball, right next to the softball field.
How big of a facility are you wanting?
Something similar to the baseball facility.
Same footprint, maybe?
Yeah. It is. I don't know what that exactly is, 60 by 80, 16 foot tall, something of that nature. Something we can do batting cages in and some extra turf. But I don't want to say we fight in baseball, but it's always everybody on a rainy day during the spring, everybody wants in there. So I feel like we're going to benefit more than just girls, we're going to benefit the boys as well. Middle school boys, middle school girls, they're not funded, they're not through the school. Carries, he's worked years, several people has, along the lines, parents, whatnot, bring them up. So they try to get in there when they can too, after high school, so they're there late in the evening or whatever, so, anyways, just trying to see what we can do to.
Well, I mean, not that we can make a decision on anything tonight, but stay after the meeting, talk to us, and we'll try to get something organized. Is that all right, Mr. President?
Yeah, that's fine.
Make arrangements to have a meeting with Mr. Pearson and Mr. Gallums and.
Your benefactor, Mr. Christie, someone like that. But I have spoken to Adam about this, and well, I've spoken with you as well over this. But this is something that I suspect that Mr. Lehman's going to need to lead the charge on this. But we'll talk after the meeting if you're okay with that.
I think it'd be a good opportunity, but the offer, his daughter, she's a sophomore, so that offer's gonna, might dwindle away before we, if we drag it for too long. So, okay, I'll stick around.
Thank you, Billy. Are there any other folks who want to talk? All right.
All right, we will move on to personnel resignations, retirement. Susan Turner, middle school instructional assistant, effective December 31st, 2023.
Do I have a motion for this agenda item?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries 5-0.
Appointments, we're going to pull out item number 4, so let's go ahead and do that one separately if everyone's okay with that. Number 4 item is Rick Gunner, middle school temporary physical education teacher for the third 9 weeks, effective January 4th, 2024.
Do I have a motion to approve this agenda item?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Are there any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain. Yes, abstain.
Motion carries 4-0.
All right, we'll go through the rest of the group together here. Darian Montgomery, middle school instructional assistant, essential skills, effective January 14, 2024. Rob Higdon, high school girls golf, 2024-25 school year. Landon McIntyre, middle school 8th grade boys basketball volunteer coach for the 2023-2024 season. Jada Weathers, high school volunteer softball coach, 2024-2025 school year. Mark Lehman, high school varsity softball coach, 2023-2024 school year. Billy Myrick, high school varsity assistant softball coach, 2023-2024 school year. Kevin Oskin, high school JV assistant softball coach, 2023-2024 school year.
Do I have a motion to approve these agenda items?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Are there any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 Against? Motion carries 5-0.
It is recommended that the board approve a resolution authorizing public funds from NHCS to be invested in Trust Indiana.
Do I have a motion for this agenda item?
I'll make the motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Are there any questions or comments?
Mr. President, I just would like to address what Trust Indiana is to kind of follow up on Mr. Haskell's question here. Trust Indiana was created, authorized by the Indiana General Assembly with the passage of Indiana Code 5-13-9-11 during its 2007 session. The Indiana Treasurer of State has been designated by statute as the administrator of Trust Indiana. And what Trust Indiana allows government entities to do, local units of government like counties, municipalities, school corporations, townships, as well as the state of Indiana itself, to invest in a common pool of investment assets that seeks to preserve the principal of the public's funds, prioritize liquidity and return on investment. Basically, this gives us an opportunity to grow some money. We have some money accruing about less than 0.5% interest rate. And if you get on Trust Indiana, if you just do a Google search for Trust Indiana, there's a lot more information involved there, but allows us to invest money with some higher yields. They've been hitting around 5% here in the last several years. And it's, like I said, it's backed by the state of Indiana, created by the Indiana General Assembly, and is monitored by state statute. So this would just allow us to move money as investment into Trust Indiana. Also, another good thing about Trust Indiana is once that money is there and we need to move that money back to our local banks or accounts, it's liquid, so it can be done as early as the same day without any penalty. Just gives us an opportunity to grow our money.
Are there any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries 5-0.
Item number 2, did we do something on this item? Do I need to go ahead and read this, Mr. Berger? Okay.
A motion has been made to table agenda item 1-12-12-2 by Mr. Engel. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
No discussion, there's just a vote. So, got the second. All in favor for tabling, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
It is recommended that the board approve permission for the corporation treasurer to make necessary transfers of appropriations from account to account within each school fund in order to balance out at the year end and to pay additional necessary and customary claims through the month of December 2023.
Do I have a motion for this agenda item?
I'll make the motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
We do not have any discussion items, but we do have some informational items. Legislative update from Christina Gutcher.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, I'm sorry. The 2024 legislative topics, this is considered a short session this year because they only do the budget and balance the budget every other year. But there are some education items that they are looking at. One of the top ones is third grade literacy. Apparently, from the 2023 data, 1 out of 5 third graders lack foundational reading skills, and they want to start holding third graders back. From what they gathered from 2023, 13,840 students did not pass the iRead. 5,503 of those students received good cause exemptions. So that left 8,337 children that did not pass. And those that did not pass and they didn't qualify for exemptions, only 412 were retained in third grade. So that means 96% of the students who did not pass were advanced to fourth grade without basic reading skills. Now, I am pleased to say that our school, for 2022, our third graders had an 88.7% passage rate compared to the state's 81.6. Now, we are still behind from the ugly word pre-pandemic. At that time, in 2018 and 19, we were 94 and 95%. So I know that our elementary teachers are working hard to get those numbers back up. One of the other things that they are wanting to look at is chronic absenteeism. I guess nearly 20% of students were chronically absent last school year, which means they missed greater than or equal to 18 days. So it's an 8% higher absentee rate than pre-pandemic. Now, attendance rate at North Harrison High School this past year was 93%. Middle school was 94%, elementary 95%. So I know our students are doing very good with that. There's a House Bill 1001 that they're looking at. They're revisiting career readiness, trying to make improvements to a bill from last year regarding statewide career-centered education and training programs and apprenticeships and internships. Then there's another bill that I'm very excited about, targeting cell phones they would like to do. No details yet, but there's what they'd like to do is have a bill to restrict cell phone usage in K through 12 classrooms. Legislation could mirror policies already in effect in some schools that require phones to be kept in lockers during classrooms. So we'll see how that goes. Another bill that's not an education bill, but I think it is it applies to our school, is Senate Bill 30. This would require the registered owner of a vehicle that is caught passing a school bus with a stop sign and arm is engaged to submit documentation and evidence that they were not the driver at the time of the violation, because apparently that's what they always claim, and provide information on the person who is operating the vehicle. This would also change the violation from a Class A to a Class C. What that means is basically that's going to be similar to a DUI, and you are subject to up to 60 days in jail. This has already passed unanimously out of the Senate committee, is now going to the Senate floor. That's your update.
Thank you, Mrs. Gunner. We appreciate you serving there in that capacity as well. Late items, Madeline Ferris, appointment, middle school instructional assistant, effective January 16, 2024. Shirley Rising, resignation, Morgan night shift custodian, effective January 12, 2024. Marcus Berger, appointment, high school volunteer baseball coach, 2024 season. Bill Hoyer, appointment, high school volunteer baseball coach, 2024 season. Brad Tucker, appointment, high school volunteer baseball coach, 2024 season. Bud Dykus, appointment, high school JV baseball coach, 2024 season. Will Davis, appointment, high school assistant varsity baseball coach, split pay, 2024 season. Lincoln Jones, appointment, high school assistant varsity baseball coach, split pay, 2024 season, and an appointment of an ISBA legislative representative.
Do I have a motion to approve these late items?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Are there any questions or concerns?
Do we need to go ahead and see who wants to be our legislative representative? Go ahead and do that. I did it last year. I enjoyed it. Going to the meetings and things like that. If anybody else would like to take that over, please speak up.
Anyone want to represent?
Josh?
No, sir.
Here's,
Look at you, Josh. Congratulations.
all
It's, consent.
right.
I
You
can
consent? You
Yeah.
consent?
I think, yeah, I'm glad he wants to do
What
it.
about that? All right,
Okay.
perfect. All right. Board member communication. Mr. Oh, I'm sorry, jumping gun. I was congratulating Josh right there. We've already got the motions and, okay. All in favor for the late items, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Is what I'm trying to say. All right, board member communication, Mr. Bowen.
I think the symbols were throwing you off there.
That's what it was.
Hope everybody had a great holiday season. I know we had an awesome time at the Morgan Elementary Christmas program. Thanks for the invite, Tammy. We do have some bad weather possibly coming up this weekend, so please make sure that you look for text updates or phone calls if we have to do anything with the school. It is School Board Appreciation Month, so I'd like to say that I appreciate Chris, Terry, Christy, and Eric. I appreciate you guys. And also, it's an election year, so school board filing, we have two positions or two seats that will be up on the ballot this year. There was a law that changed the filing dates, and they've been moved up to May 21st through June 20th at noon per Indiana Code 3-8-2.5-4. So if you're interested, or if you know somebody that's interested in running for one of the seats that's going to be on the ballot this year, the filing date's been moved up about 2 months.
Mr. Lasley.
Mr. Hassel, good to see you tonight. Billy, good job up here. I think if we consider doing that building, we could. I know Mr. Christie Adam does good work, and I think it would benefit way more than just the girls varsity, because I know like 7th and 8th grade boys baseball, they don't even have a field. So if we could, with the pecking order, if we could take the girls off that, it would help our boys program too. So it benefit a lot more than just the girls varsity. It's a lot of big programs that just know where to practice when it rains. So, I think if he's offering, we should definitely look into it. And appreciate you coming out, Billy.
Mr. Ingram.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to thank my lovely wife for showing up tonight. Thank you, Ms. Engel. Billy, I think that, for years, we've seen the development of the middle school girls baseball or softball team grow from not even a dozen kids to at one point we had over 50 girls try out. We had no place to stick them. We had no place. And you can't stick a softball or a baseball in a gym, especially our high school gym and our new facility. There's always been a need for that. It's always been crunched for time, and we don't want kids out in the building at midnight. But sometimes during the league years, we had kids out there on a Friday night at 11:30 at night practicing. So I'm glad you're staying. I appreciate you being here and saying what you said. Love to talk about this and get some more information. I'd like to thank everybody for showing up tonight. Congratulations, Eric, Chrissy. I'm very proud to serve with this board, and I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend and stay safe. Stay warm.
Mrs. Gunner.
I echo Carrie's comments also about the softball program. I think, it's great that it's growing and that we have that problem. So I hope we can come to a solution for those girls. As Josh said, January is Board Appreciation Month, and I do truly appreciate the opportunity to serve with these gentlemen up here. Also, this past year, saw some accomplishments and challenges as a board. So I'm hoping within the next year we can make some clear decisions and go in the right direction, ask some questions with the intent to understand and collaborate with our administrators and staff to be successful and make this school the best it can be. So thank you all for coming out tonight.
Nathan, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. Gary, I know what you mean now when you're the last one to talk. So, like I said, it's short and sweet. We got a lot of big stuff going on in this next year. I know Josh mentioned the fact that a couple of seats are coming up. I'm gonna be one of them. And I'm hoping to accomplish a lot in the next 12 months. So that's all I have to say. Thank you all for coming out.
I just have a couple things. First and foremost, I'm glad Josh mentioned the possible inclement weather. This is the time of the year over the next couple months that it could get rough. Kind of spread the word. We switched this year from Messenger to Thrill Share. I think it's going to be a really good product for us in terms of how we get our messages out. But for some reason, if you hear of a family or people that are not receiving our text messages or our phone calls, let someone know. Call your building so we can get that updated. Again, we are definitely, Mr. Freed, myself, and the board, we are definitely on the same page in terms, we're going to keep our kids safe. I mean, there may be a time that, we have a 2-hour delay, but there might be other people who don't have one, but we're okay with that. We're definitely okay with that. We want to take care of our kids and our staff and make sure our people are safe. So we are definitely always going to try to err on the side of safety. Also, I'd like to thank Kerry for his service this past year, Josh as well, in terms of leadership roles. When you're dealing with the school board, I know this is board appreciation month. Appreciate the entire board, but those guys take on some added responsibility. Congratulations to our new people, in those positions. I know they'll do a fine job. We have a great school board and a great community. Appreciate you guys coming out and speaking with us this evening. Point well taken. I agree 100% with you on that, because I think there'll be a ton of value in adding that, and not just on the girls' side, but on the boys' side as well. So I don't have anything else.
I have one more thing. Dr. Madden, sir, will you be singing this year?
I would say that there is a strong possibility that could happen.
And I tell you what,
I want to be put back on that list, please.
I saw a post out there on Facebook like 6 years ago today where I said, Dr. Madden, thank you. Sounded like someone thought he was still, but thank you. And of course, it was awesome.
Yes, you did, Carrie, and I remember that, and I appreciate it.
I also want to thank the board for all their work, Board Appreciation Month as well. These are very, very tough seats to sit in, and certainly causes them a lot of sleepless nights and added stress, and it is certainly a commitment, obviously with the goal of doing what's best for our children here in North Harrison. So again, I want to thank each and every one of our board members for their service, not just this month, but for the whole year. So appreciate that, guys. Along with the severe weather, forecast that I saw before I left for out here, they kind of backed off the snow a little bit. Who knows how that goes? But regardless, we are out of school Monday, so Monday is a snowmaking day, so that's MLK Day, no school for students. If we miss a day due to weather, that first day that we miss will be a traditional snow day. So we have one day we can use as a traditional snow day. Anything between now and President's Day, if we miss a second day, we would have to make that up. So hopefully we'll be in session Tuesday and won't have to worry about that. We are going to go ahead and send devices home with all students tomorrow, just to be prepared. So if we need to do an e-learning day, if we have to miss a couple days next week, which again we don't anticipate, but we want to be prepared, and we'll communicate that to you. I know last year we spent a lot of time talking about tax rate and bonding, and we were able to pass the bond to be able to borrow the $7.4 million for our renovations at North Harrison Elementary and for our CTE building. We are going to be able to stay tax rate neutral. Received today our 2024 certified budget order for the Department of Local Government and Finance, and our certified property tax rate is 75 cents. So I am very happy that we're able to do that. We had addressed in previous months some concerns with losing some of that money in debt reduction from the council, that might be difficult, at least for year 2024, we are going to keep that flat rate at 75 cents. Obviously, moving forward, there's a possibility that that rate can tick up a couple of cents. But again, we're going to do everything we can in order to keep that around the 75-cent mark. So I did want to share that with you as well. And that is all that I have. I certainly hope everyone sticks around for my finance meeting to follow.
Thank you, Mr. Freed. Where's your big picture?
I'm going to try to go quickly.
Is there anyone else? It is recommended that the meeting be adjourned at 7:49 p.m. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
All right, and I'm just joking. You certainly do not have to stick around for this finance meeting. This meeting is called to order at 7:50 by me, Superintendent Nathan Freed.
Adoption of agenda. It is recommended that the agenda for the January 11th, 2024 finance meeting be approved as presented with additions, corrections, or deletion as recommended by the board. May I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Are there any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
All right, so here's our Board of Finance Report 2024. In accordance with Indiana Code 513-7-8, the board must receive and review a written report on the financial conditions of the school corporation. The report must be given by the superintendent or the superintendent's designee. In reporting on the school corporation's financial condition, the superintendent must use the fiscal and qualitative indicators determined by the Fiscal and Qualitative Indicators Committee. Website DUAB, if you just do a Google search for DUAB, that's the Distressed Unit Appeals Board. You can find this information that I'm going to share with you not only for North Harrison Community School Corporation, but also school corporations around the state of Indiana. And basically, once you get on the DUAB site, there are 6 charts. We are only concerned with 5 of those. Chart number 6 is an operating referendum revenue, and that does not apply to North Harrison. So we're looking at 5 charts here on the DUAB website. The first one, we've talked a lot in the past about the average daily membership, commonly referred to as ADM. This simply just shows the number of eligible students here at North Harrison on a certain day. The base school year for 2014 and 15 had an ADM of 2,116 students. For the 2022-23 school year, that fall ADM is 2,064 students. And again, if you want to look at our historical trends, all that information is there. Chart number 2 talks about the fund balances. These are based on the month of December. The sum of all fund balances in 2014 was $6,637,354.47. Again, that was back in 2014. The sum of all fund balances in 2022 was $8,970,217.75. And that 8.9 million has been the highest total in the last several years for our fund balances. So that's obviously a good thing. Chart number 3 shows the annual deficit surplus, shows revenue compared to expenditures, and basically what you'll find here is we spend pretty much what we take in. The overall revenues are very closely aligned to our expenditures. Chart 4 is the fund balances as a percent of expenditures, and what this does is this illustrates our ability to maintain current operations if there would be any kind of delay in revenue sources. How long can we last? We're in a very good position here. As of December 2022, our fund balances could cover about 34% of annual expenditures. And then the last chart is the revenue by type. This is money that the school corporation brings in, and our largest source of revenue is pretty much going to be what everyone is. That's revenue from the state of Indiana, and all sources are pretty well consistent or they are increasing, so we are in good shape there. So just as an overall of that picture, the data on most of the fiscal and qualitative indicators for North Harrison Community Schools is very stable. We are in sound financial shape. Some figures have fluctuated over this time period, but most of them have been pretty consistent with no drastic changes. There are two things that we always need to be concerned about. Number one is our ADM, our student count, our student population. That is how we are funded by the state. So that's a number that we always, for budgeting purposes and financial purposes, always have to monitor. And item number two, just the increasing cost of all goods and services. As you know, the price of everything has increased, and also the supply chain, sometimes having to order items and not being able to get those in a timely fashion. So those are two things we want to take a look at, keep an eye on, and that is our financial and investment report.
Say that again?
You good?
I have copies that I can scan to you tomorrow, Mr. Engel.
Any questions or comments?
I have one. I have the financial report from last year, and I know that at that point in time, we had used 86% of our ESSER money. Have we completely used that? Because I know we have to use it, don't we have to use
Yes,
it by this year, 2024?
All of that money has been allocated.
Okay, all right. And I know, just so people know, that that's elementary and secondary school emergency relief funds due to the pandemic. And I know we were using it for salaries, benefits, technology, software, hardware, COVID custodial supplies, a school bus, boiler repairs, professional development for staff. So it went to a little bit of everything for our school.
That is correct.
Okay.
Anyone else? It is recommended that the meeting be adjourned at 7:56 p.m. May I have a motion?
I have a motion.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.